You already know it is the CC takeover. Took over the ANNIKA Pro-Am today. Shut it down. Operation Shut Down. We are talking about thousands of people lined up to watch her play golf. This looked like Gamebridge Fieldhouse. It looked like she was going against the New York Liberty out there, and she was about to hit 3 threes in 28 seconds or something like that. That is what the crowd looked like.
Okay, this is absolutely insane. Thousands of people, not hundreds, thousands, lined up at a golf tournament to watch someone who doesn't even play professional golf. The scenes look like a playoff basketball game, not a Wednesday morning Pro-Am, and what you just heard? That's only the surface of what went down at the ANNIKA. By the time you finish this video, you'll understand why Caitlin Clark just changed women's sports forever in a way that has nothing to do with basketball. But here's the kicker: while everyone's celebrating these crowds, there's a darker story playing out behind the scenes that nobody's talking about. Let me break this down for you. Go.
Caitlin Clark at the ANNIKA today. And you guys remember the preseason game where the Indiana Fever went back to Iowa? Yeah, it looked like that all over again. It looked like that all over again. It's CC22 jerseys everywhere. It's a movie. It is a movie at the ANNIKA. Caitlin Clark doing it in a way that no one else can. Let's take a look. Look at all these people. Golf at a golf.
Did you catch that? You don't see this, and he's right. You literally don't see this in women's golf, ever. But here's what's wild: this isn't even about golf anymore. What we're witnessing is something sports analysts have been predicting for decades but never actually thought would happen: the crossover effect. When one athlete becomes so transcendent that they elevate every single thing they touch. Tiger did it for golf. Jordan did it for basketball. But what Caitlin Clark is doing, it's different, because she's not just bringing basketball fans to golf, she's creating an entirely new category of sports fan that didn't exist 6 months ago. And get this, the people lining up at sunrise aren't just casual viewers. These are diehards wearing CC22 jerseys to a completely different sport. Think about how unprecedented that is.
All the Fever jerseys. Look at the Fever jerseys. Come on, man. This legendary. I reiterate, man. We got to take a look at the swing, but look at all the people out there in the Caitlin Clark Fever clothing, jerseys, CC22 jerseys everywhere at the ANNIKA.
Fever jerseys at a golf tournament. Let that sink in for a second. You know what's crazy? This is exactly what the WNBA should have been capitalizing on all season long. But instead, they fumbled the bag so hard it's actually embarrassing. While golf tournaments are breaking attendance records just to have Caitlin Clark show up for one day, the WNBA couldn't figure out how to market their own generational talent during an entire championship season. But here's where it gets interesting, and this is what most people are completely missing. The ANNIKA organizers understood something fundamental about modern sports that the WNBA still doesn't get. It's not about the sport anymore. It's about the personality. It's about the connection. When you watch those crowds, did you notice something? The energy. The excitement. These people aren't there because they suddenly love golf, they're there because Caitlin Clark makes them feel something that sports haven't made them feel in years: authentic, real, worth waking up early for.
They were dying to have her back. Every single league is fully aware of the value that Caitlin Clark brings to the table, except the damn WNBA, and it is a shame. It is a shame. It is a true shame. We got to take a look at her swing, man. I might have to work with you on your swing, CC. Nah, you actually better than me. I'm not gonna lie. She's better than me. She's better than me.
Last piece of advice: aim right at.
Every single week, they were dying to have her back. Listen to that frustration in his voice, because he's seeing what everyone in the golf world is seeing: pure, unfiltered star power that translates across sports. Meanwhile, the WNBA spent the entire season treating their biggest draw like just another player, no special marketing, no strategic scheduling, no understanding of what they actually had, and this is where the psychology gets fascinating. The golf world recognized immediately what took the basketball establishment months to even acknowledge. Caitlin Clark isn't just a talented athlete, she's a cultural phenomenon. When ANNIKA Pro-Am herself is pushing to have someone at her signature event, that's not about golf skill. That's about understanding that this person brings something money can't buy: legitimacy, attention, relevance, the kind of mainstream crossover appeal that turns a niche sport into must-watch television.
To say, she's used to that.
It's a good swing.
Okay.
That's a fairly good swing, y'all. That is a fairly good swing. That is a fairly good swing. And we got to take a look at Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hall. You know, Tres Leches was in the building. We got to take a look, man. Sophie Cunningham hit a damn fan with a ball. Leave it to Sophie to do something crazy. Leave it to Sophie, man. Gotta love the blonde bomber, man. You leave it to Sophie to do something out of pocket every time.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
They really got yeah, she got this whole team lit.
Now check out what happens with Sophie Shatinka. This is actually the perfect example of what I'm mocking about. Sophie's been a solid WNBA player for years, good career, respectable, but you know what he just said? You didn't see Sophie on Good Morning America before Caitlin Clark. You didn't see her on Monday Night Football, and that's not a knock on Sophie, she's talented as hell. But this is the Caitlin Clark effect in real time. Her presence elevates everyone around her. The entire Indiana Fever roster went from relative obscurity to mainstream recognition. Lexi Hull is getting recognized. Sophie's hitting golf balls at premier events. Aaliyah Boston's getting major endorsements. This is what happens when you have a true, transcendent star. The rising tide lifts all boats. But here's what's really fascinating about this moment. And pay attention, because this explains everything about why the crowds were so massive. Sophie hitting that fan with a golf ball becomes a viral moment specifically because she's there with Caitlin Clark. Same action at a random celebrity golf tournament? Maybe a few thousand views. But because it's connected to the Caitlin Clark phenomenon, millions of people care.
Let's take a look at this.
Dude, you put snacks in?
Yeah.
Maybe a beer.
Yes, exactly.
I need to go get my girl.
There you go.
What do you need?
I got here. Hit it hard.
Sophie play all day. She just want to play around all day.
Little left, little left.
Oh, I know.
Little left, little left. I know.
Okay. But watch this interaction closely. See how comfortable they are? How natural this feels. That's not staged, that's genuine chemistry that translates through the screen, and this is exactly why Caitlin Clark's appeal is so different from other athletes. She doesn't have that manufactured, corporate feel that makes modern sports personalities seem robotic when she's out there. It feels real. It feels accessible. You can actually imagine hanging out with her, and that authenticity? It's pure marketing gold in 2024, when audiences can smell fake from a mile away. The golf world gets this. They understand that having Caitlin Clark at your event isn't just about her swing mechanics, though we'll get to that in a second, because her form is actually surprisingly solid. It's about capturing that lightning in a bottle feeling that makes people stop scrolling and actually pay attention.
Sophie swing where she apparently took out a fan. You gotta be careful with Sophie, man.
It's Sophie Cunningham.
Sophie, you need a ball. Go get it. Sophie, you need a ball. I would back up, and I'm not kidding.
I was surprised she actually hit this ball really, really hard. I was surprised she even... I thought she was gonna swing and miss.
I killed a squirrel the last time I did this.
It's getting real.
Oh my god, this is so bad.
Next up, Sophie Cunningham.
Yeah, guys, come on! Let's go! Oh, is that bad? Shit! No. Come on, guys, I didn't say that. Is that bad?
That's a good looking practice swing right there.
Let's go.
No, oh no.
You got it, girl.
Happy Gilmore.
And she actually hit that ball pretty hard.
He's down. He's down.
She hit a damn fan, man. Hey, leave it to Sophie, bro. Well, Caitlin did it last year too. So Sophie, you get a pass, man.
Did you catch Sophie's reaction when she realized she hit someone? That moment of genuine concern, followed by relief when the fan says it was worth it, that's the kind of organic content you cannot script. And here's what's brilliant about how the ANNIKA handled this entire event. They understood that the golf itself was almost secondary to the experience. They knew people were coming to be part of a moment. To say they were there when Caitlin Clark played golf and shut down a professional tournament, the fan who got hit by Sophie's ball is probably telling that story to everyone he knows. That's the kind of engagement that turns casual viewers into lifelong fans. But let's dig deeper into what's really happening here, because there's a business story underneath all of this that reveals why Caitlin Clark's value is being completely misunderstood by the league that should benefit most from her success.
She said, don't feel bad. It was worth it. Leave it to Sophie, man. Leave it to Sophie Cunningham to make something go left. That is hilarious, man. That's funny, man. Anywho, Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hall, shutting down the ANNIKA, record-breaking crowds, thousands of people lined up. This is great. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think about this. This Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comments.
So, here's where this gets really interesting. Let's talk about the economics of what just happened at the ANNIKA. A single Pro-Am day with Caitlin Clark generates more buzz, more media coverage, and more mainstream attention than most golf tournaments get in an entire week. The LPGA has been struggling for years to break through to casual sports fans. They've tried everything: better players, more prize money, strategic partnerships. Nothing moved the needle. Then Caitlin Clark shows up for one day, and suddenly golf is trending on social media. Sports networks are covering it. Mainstream outlets are writing articles. That's not just star power, that's cultural gravity, the ability to bend the entire sports media ecosystem toward whatever you're doing. And here's the part that should terrify WNBA executives: she's doing this in her off-season. This isn't even her primary sport. Imagine if the WNBA had actually understood how to maximize this kind of appeal during the actual season. But let's connect some dots that most people are missing. Remember earlier when we saw those crowds lined up at sunrise? Those aren't golf fans who suddenly decided to care about the WNBA, those are Caitlin Clark fans who will follow her anywhere. That's the difference between a star athlete and a cultural icon. Star athletes are great at their sport. Cultural icons transcend their sport entirely. They become bigger than the game itself, and this is where the psychology gets really fascinating. Because what Caitlin Clark represents to her fans isn't just basketball excellence. She represents something deeper: authenticity in an age of carefully managed images, excellence without arrogance, competitiveness without cruelty. That combination is incredibly rare in modern sports. Most athletes are either humble and boring, or confident and polarizing. Caitlin Clark somehow threads the needle of being both supremely confident and genuinely likable. That's why people will wake up at dawn to watch her play golf now. Here's what really blows my mind about this entire situation: the WNBA had a generational talent, the kind that comes around maybe once every 20 years, and their marketing strategy was basically hope people notice. Meanwhile, golf tournaments are literally begging her to show up. Corporate sponsors are throwing money at her. Media outlets are creating content around her every move, and the league that actually employs her? They scheduled her games at times that minimized viewership. They didn't create special broadcast packages. They treated the Caitlin Clark phenomenon like it was just another good rookie season instead of a once-in-a-generation opportunity to transform their entire sport. The contrast is staggering. The ANNIKA organizers understood immediately that having Caitlin Clark wasn't just about filling seats, it was about creating a moment that would resonate far beyond the event itself. They got it. The question is, when will the WNBA get it? We're not just talking about attendance numbers or social media engagement. We're talking about fundamentally changing who considers themselves a sports fan. Before Caitlin Clark, how many people do you think were actively following both the WNBA and professional golf? Probably a pretty small Venn diagram. But now, you've got basketball fans learning about golf, and golf fans checking out WNBA highlights. That crossover appeal is marketing gold, because it expands the entire addressable audience for both sports. This is exactly what Tiger Woods did in the late 90s and early 2000s. He brought people to golf who would have never otherwise cared. Young people, diverse audiences, people who thought golf was boring suddenly found it compelling because Tiger made it cool. Caitlin Clark is doing the same thing, except she's doing it across multiple sports simultaneously. That's unprecedented. That's why these ANNIKA crowds weren't just big, they were historic. They represented a fundamental shift in how sports fandom works. Thousands of people lined up. Let that final statement sink in. Because what we witnessed at the ANNIKA wasn't just a successful celebrity golf appearance, it was proof of concept. Proof that Caitlin Clark's appeal isn't limited to basketball. Proof that her star power translates across sports, across demographics, across traditional boundaries. The golf world saw it immediately and capitalized on it. They created an event that people will remember and talk about for years. They understood that sometimes the biggest wins aren't measured in birdies and pars, they're measured in cultural impact and mainstream relevance. The real question isn't whether Caitlin Clark can draw crowds to a golf tournament. We just watched that happen in real time. The real question is whether the institutions that should benefit most from her stardom will finally figure out how to maximize what they have before the opportunity passes them by. So, what happens next? That's what everyone should be asking, because we're at a crossroads moment for women's sports. The Caitlin Clark effect has proven that audiences exist. The demand is real. The commercial viability is undeniable. But will the systems and structures adapt quickly enough to capitalize on this moment? Or will we look back in 5 years and realize we witnessed a generational opportunity that was completely fumbled? The golf world gets it. Corporate sponsors get it. Media outlets get it. The question is, does the WNBA finally get it? Drop your thoughts below, because this conversation is just getting started.